Is that us, James?
I'm not too sure, James.
That's the phone. Pretty sure we're live. Pretty sure we're live. We're going to double check comments. Here we go.
Not seeing anything, James. Or could be delay.
Yeah, that would
Could be delay.
It says there's already 4 people there, huh?
Let's go, James.
Just waiting for our viewers, huh? 3. Welcome. Merch goes on. Here we go, Steve. Up the fucking pies. Here we go. Leaving now for Optus.
Jeez.
Jealous. Very jealous that we can't be there in Perth. You've been to Perth, haven't you, James?
Yeah, James. It actually looks great when you drive past and see the stadium.
Optus Stadium. Apparently it's good.
Yeah.
Go Pies. All the best. How do we sound, guys? Can you guys hear us on the mic? Woody.
The man,
This is not Aldin. This is Wooden Spoon Data. Woody. It's a different Woody. What's going on, mate? Still waiting for that video of yours. I'm holding my breath, and I haven't got long left in me, Woody.
Someone would say you have 72 minutes, champ.
Yeah, 72 minutes left, man. 10 viewers, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the pre-game show with myself and Cuckoo on the left of me, right on your screen. She's in post-production. You want to put a final date for that, or Freya been talking some shit? Let's show some of these messages. Hey, all right, Nathan Church. Freya been talking some shit this week. Time to remind them who they are fucking with. Yeah, well, look, we got them last time, last season. We'll pop up the last time we met just here so we can reference it. James, talk us through some of that. What's going on?
Yes. Well, obviously, round 18 last time we played them, and we came out the victor, 67 points, and we had that amazing day kicking straight.
Yeah.
Will that happen again today? I bloody hope so, but probably not. It's probably one of those ones once in a lifetime type of start, isn't it?
13-2 in the set shot realm when we played them last year, but obviously a very different squad compared to what we dished out there. Obviously a different team today with a bunch of youngsters and the debutants with Will Parker and Ed Allen.
Yep.
Who is from Western Australia. So he's probably got some family members there who'll be watching. I'm pretty sure his father played for West Coast or Fremantle. Not sure if he has any relation to Oscar Allen. But it would be handy if you did, because Oscar Allen is a free agent soon, and I mean he's likely to stay with West Coast. Like, it's his homegrown team, and he's a co-captain. But who knows? Might be a way in.
Exactly right. We also got Lockie Schultz, 100 games today.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. I did not
AFL games.
I did not know that.
And also, former Freo player. So
former Freo player.
Obviously, would like to get a big dog up against them, huh?
Yeah.
And have a good day out.
Yeah, and I think a good player for him, no relation. I think for Lockie Schultz, what might be a handy assignment for him tonight is Luke Ryan, not Liam Ryan. I always get too confused from West Coast. And Luke Ryan, the medium-sized defender who is very good aerially, and he's also very competent with the ball. And Fremantle look to play through him, particularly even more so this season since Hayden Young has rolled into the midfield. So it's more of a split between Luke Ryan and Jordan Clark, who is playing out through the back for them. So that would be interesting. What else have we got here? Who do you reckon will be sub? We're just looking at the team sheets now, and I think we're probably still, maybe 15, 20 minutes away from it being officially announced. Finlay McRae's obviously been dropped, so that's something to unpack. Maybe not today, because we don't want to
leave that one to the podcast. But
yep.
Let's just say we're not too happy about that decision.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for our podcast later on in the week.
When are we doing that, champs? When's the Pies Eyes podcast episode 5?
Maybe Sunday morning we might film that.
We'll shoot it Sunday, and then we'll hopefully get a video out. I'll either post it Monday or Wednesday, depending on what we have to upload. But yeah, getting back to the question, sub. for me, off the top of my head, and then maybe Caleb can share his thoughts, but I'd have to assume it would be, I want to say Will Parker, just because he might be a bit more versatile across the grounds compared to an Ed Allen. I know Ed Allen can play wing, can play middle. Maybe he plays at high half forward flank role that Finlay McRae has filled in the past. But maybe Will Parker. What do you reckon?
Yeah,
who's going to play the sub?
I'd back that. And very similar to the last pre-game show when we had a couple of people debuting. Will Parker, you got to adjust to AFL speed.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's that next jump up from VFL. So letting them come in while they're a little bit, everyone else's energy depleted, maybe after halftime, you'd think so.
Yeah,
would be a good way to let a youngster come in and really show what he's got.
Yeah. He played 5 VFL games this year, so they've really rushed him in, considering he hasn't had the full preseason with the Pies.
Yeah.
He'd just come from the Big Bash in the 2020 cricket as well. So obviously a multifaceted human being or athlete, if you will. So really excited to see what he's about. Let's move on here. Wooden Spoon, she's in post-production. Yeah, we already seen that one. Shout out Eddie. Shout out Eddie. Okay. I'm in Perth, heading to game soon, Team Mello. Yeah, very jealous, both of us.
That's one thing, champs, a little bit off topic, but would like to get around bucket list. Maybe we can all travel to an interstate game.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've already tipped off Sydney together. We'll briefly go past that very quickly, but maybe
reluctantly.
Yeah, maybe the Gabba later on this year or we've already played the Gabba, but I don't know. We'll figure out somewhere to go.
We'll find something maybe in the finals if we don't finish top 2. Who knows? Maybe we can travel interstate. But yeah, last time we traveled interstate was to the 2022 prelim against Sydney on a bus to and from. So we'll leave that at that. How about this? This is a loaded statement.
You're gonna read it? Huh?
It's on the screen. Go on.
I feel like Cox will be huge, huh?
Yeah, Cox is going to be massive tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a menace.
It's going to be huge. I think there was a call by Caleb in the last time we did the live stream during the game for Carlton. I think I said was it Mason Costa said he's usually a dead-eyed dick, and then Caleb said, yeah. He goes. Mine bends left a little bit, and then Cox's shot ended up going left.
Yeah.
So it's
I caught it.
Curve. Go Pies, George Bond. Go Pies. We've humbled Freo in our past 3 games against them. I thought we lost a game against them in 2021 under Bucks. Maybe by now that's probably 3 games. Oh, I guess the finals. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we've probably got their number now, but I think it's a much level playing field today. Fremantle, one of the younger sides in the league. Let's just have a look here. Fremantle have the average age of 24.8, which sees them as the 4th youngest team in the league compared to Collingwood, 27 years old, the oldest team in the club. But I don't think those numbers will take into account the players that are playing tonight and have played over the last few weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly right. I think it averages out to about 25 when I sussed earlier today.
You did some maths, fella.
Well, when you split the ratings going by day, or by the game, sorry, it'll tell you what the average is for the team.
Oh, in the match stats and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Daniel Cassett, no relation to Oscar Allen, Frank. Okay. Thank you. Good to know. Trying to get 30th done, but realistically, probably the 3rd after the weekend of footy. That's the same weekend I just so happened to be releasing the Scott Pendlebury documentary. So that'll be a big weekend for content creation.
I'm seeing our favorite viewer, or my favorite viewer, Manny's in the comments.
All right, hold on. Here we go. Wait, let's say we'll go George first. We'll go George quickly. Champ.
Very keen to see what Ed Allen has. Been waiting patiently for his debut.
Hey, can you have you got the VFL app?
I do not.
I've got the VFL app. Let's have a look at what Oscar Allen is doing in the VFL. I know in the last game he played, I think it was against the Werribee Tigers, if I'm not mistaken, and he had 17 disposals, kicked a goal, and was voted as the MVP for the game, as voted by Josh Fraser. Fraser, the VFL coach. Obviously, an ex-Collingwood player. Remember Josh Fraser, champs?
Of course, that's why we're 25, champs.
No, 25.
That's why I got the 25 jersey.
That's true.
Yeah.
Ruckman.
Yep, the man.
And then he dogged us and went to Gold Coast.
I actually forgot
He
about
did do that, yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Actually, pull it up. How many games did he play for Gold Coast? I don't think it was an illustrious career for Josh Fraser at the Gold Coast Suns. I don't think so. Yeah, Werribee Tigers lost by 52 points. And Oscar Allen had 17 disposals and did not kick a goal. He kicked the behind. So, look, they obviously like what he's doing. So,
18 games.
18 games, 12 goals. Yeah, nothing on. He lasted a year. Better that way. He was actually the number one pick for back in 1999.
That's interesting,
big
right? I think that's something you'd see today that ruckmans normally wouldn't get drafted that high.
I'd be very surprised. You'd be very surprised to see a ruckman go number one these days in the draft. All right, Caleb's favorite. Go on, man.
We can't give Dean a lockdown role. If he gets monstered tonight and has 3 or 4 kicked on him, we are finished.
Manny, you've got some fucking big takes, don't you? Big takes.
Well, I don't really disagree.
Well, right. If he plays a lockdown role, who are his options that he has to play on?
Well, he's going to play a lockdown role.
On?
Just have to see who he matches up on. But like just earlier on in the year, I didn't really think. Obviously, we're all playing bad, and it's easy to point fingers on the new players that are coming in because that's the easiest way to assess things. But yeah, champs, just didn't really impress me all too much. So
yeah, it was tough early on. I think everyone played like garbage, but Charlie Dean had some strong learning curves. But I think he's probably looking at a Jai Miss or a Josh Tracy or a Luke Jackson as he rolls forward. I don't think he's going to be the man for Luke Jackson, but I think Josh Tracy and Jai Miss are having great seasons, more so Josh Tracy. But I think this might be a matchup that Charlie Dean might fancy and really build some confidence up. I've seen some things that he likes. I've seen things to like with his ball use and his composure. I think once he gets his intercept marking game going in AFL level, which he's been able to produce at VFL level, that's when we'll really see Collingwood get to, what's the saying? I said it in one of my videos, gets to reap the fruits of the labours. There you go. Yeah. One of those ones. Thoughts? Agreed?
Yeah.
Manny, so we'll come back to this. We'll see how many goals gets kicked on him, or let's see if he can take 3 or 4 intercept marks for the game. I think that's a win for Collingwood. He's related to Ben Allen, who captained Fremantle. Okay. Thank you. Charlie Dean, VFL player, he's skata, which means shit in Greek. So I don't know. I'm optimistic. I think he's been playing quite well in the VFL, been collecting the ball for fun, marking the ball a bunch. So I really want to put him under the microscope tonight and see where he goes. That's at KFC, man. It's getting me. So we said we won't get any hot bird, which is like a charcoal chicken chop near the house, because we had so much like indigestion last time we did this, and then we've just gone one step. Further.
Almost one step back, you'd say, because the KFC would surely be worse than
half glass full, half empty type of thing. And I think we're gonna pay for it now. Nathan Church, we got more Ed Allen. Ed Allen will bring it. His old man was a Jet. Yes, my dad just brought that to our attention. Ben Allen. What was his stats, brother, for Fremantle? Pull it up, Jamie. 6 players tonight. Ben Parsons, sorry. Should be a good game. Hayden Young is elite. Yep. Ben, I'm fucking looking forward to this game. I think it's a level playing field given the availabilities or lack of availabilities in our team from the senior players. But I think it's an opportunity for us to move past, respectfully, and this might be a hot take, but respectfully move past some of the players that we've been so dependent on in the past. Little things like Tom Mitchell, Jeremy Howe, looking at Jordan De Goey, who might play more forward. He comes back into the team.
Yep.
I think in the finals he'd still be a shoe-in to play like a good amount of forward. But what have we got there?
Yeah, so Ben Allen, Fremantle, 211 games champs. So yeah, Hawthorn and Freo.
Any BNFs or anything like that, or
a couple of waffle premierships.
Yep.
All Australian.
AFL premiership player 1991. So who was that for?
No, I think that's a waffle. That's a
waffle. No, the top. That one.
Oh, yeah, very top, yeah.
Anyways, fair enough. So, yeah, 6 players tonight under 5 games for us. That'd be Lockie Sullivan, Harvey Harrison, Charlie Dean,
and
Will Parker, and Ed Allen.
Yeah.
Okay. Little I love pies footy stat for you. Your whisper doco is giving me 8.5% of my Daicos suggested views. Interesting. YouTube analytics. I can't talk tonight. The KFC's got me fucked up.
You're nervous, champ.
I'm not nervous, champ. Fraser cracked it when he wasn't in the plan for 2010. So that's when we went for Darren Jolly and Lee Brown, I think. That ended up being the duo for 2010, if I'm not mistaken, Nathan. Steve-O, Schultz is due a big game. Yep.
100%.
Absolutely. Mr. Sweaters, go the Pies. I can vouch for that. Howie also looks vulnerable on the key forward, so the third tall defender role will be perfect for Dean. Let's post that up. Yes, I think I've never rated Jeremy Howe as a great one-on-one player.
No.
He's purely an interceptor. Keep them busy. I'm just going to pop up Jeremy Howe's one-on-one stats over the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but just to echo that, he's more of a player that comes across and reads the play. He's obviously got a great ability to read the footy, but he's not the quickest guy out there. You know what I mean? And he really relies on someone engaging.
You seen him in real life, and or you saw him somewhere, and what did you think?
Yeah. So he come down training.
Yep.
And yeah, he was obviously there with Maynard, and Maynard's there looking like a bull, and how he looks very, very skinny. And I knew he was skinny, but in person, champs, kind of surprised me a little bit.
Yeah.
Did surprise me.
Slender?
Yeah, exactly. Because you see them on TV, sometimes they look a little bit bigger than they actually do.
Yeah.
And obviously a little bit of, you kind of put them on a pedestal as well, right? Because they are playing AFL. So when you're seeing them in person at the local footy ground where a coach, it's a little bit different there, isn't it?
But he can jump like a gazelle.
Mate, he's putting his knee right on my head. I'm getting concussed.
He's probably going to knock you out.
Yeah.
If he wants to, he can take a specky and knock you out at the same time. It's up to him at the end of the day where he puts his knee when he goes for those speckies.
So we got it here.
31%. Yeah, so 31% of his one-on-ones in 2023 were lost. He had average one-on-one contest in the game per game last season. It probably just points to the fact that there's not a lot of one-on-one footy that happens anymore, which is clear just the way the game plays these days.
It's all zone, yeah.
Yeah, all zone. And then when he does, 31%, if I'm not mistaken, is not a great track record relative to all the other medium-sized defenders that exist in the AFL world. So, yeah, definitely an opportunity for Charlie Dean to take that and maybe swing Jeremy Howe forward for the rest of his, for the twilight of his career, right? Champ, have a read of this.
How do we feel about Freo being one of the best teams in the comp for marks inside 50? Are we thinking our pressure through the midfield will counter this well, or are we relying on our backline setup? Well, it's an interesting one. I think our midfields at the moment, obviously with all the clearances we've been getting, have been elite.
Yep. Scoring from them as well.
Yeah, and obviously we're converting very well. We've got the inclusions of Bo today that we think will run through the middle.
Hopefully so, man.
Yeah.
It was exciting against Carlton until you got Ben Askren.
Before he got knocked out, a flying knee.
Yeah.
So I think with the setup that we have, I think the dominance in the middle will be one. And even if we do, and even if we do lose, we're never going to win all clearances, but we should be able to put enough pressure on them when they're kicking in into our 50. And then hopefully we can get these guys, Charlie Dean, to really show their intercept ability. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the opportunity that lies in for a player like Charlie Dean. We know Darcy Moore's lifted in form. I think in the last 5 matches, he's lifted to the 5th highest rated defender in the league right now. And in the last 5 matches, he's averaging, where are we? Here we go. He's averaging 3 intercept marks, which is top 10 for all defenders. So he's finding his mojo back when it comes to his intercept game. But yeah, just to add to Kayla's point is if we can create a forward half game, which is what we've done really well this year, then hopefully those marks or those potential marks inside 50 for Fremantle aren't going to come as freely throughout the game. Ben Allen, BNF. Okay, so he won the flag at Hawthorn and won the BNF in 1991. See, little bit of a history lesson. We're learning stuff.
It's all before we were born.
Yeah.
It is all before.
And that's why we got people like Nathan Church in the chat and Daniel Cassette to tell us what we missed before we were brought into the land of
the now.
The land of the now. We'll go with that.
Get
some water in your lads. Yep. Yeah, we're staying hydrated. We got some chai lattes as well.
I do want to point out that is my water, by the way.
That's sharing his care, man.
Yeah.
Known you since 5 years old, man. 72 years, man. I gave him the Magpies Cup, even though it's mine, but I felt like I would be doing good juju if I gave him the Magpies Cup before the game. Spaniard. Do you know if Will Park has been much better than Jacob Ryan, Josh Carmichael? Is he next best in? Okay. It's a sample size of 5 games for Will Parker in the VFL versus Jacob Ryan and Carmichael, who was a mid-season draft selection a couple of years ago, mind you, who have had plenty of time in the VFL to prove themselves. So clearly what I've gathered over the last week is Collingwood really like what Will Parker is about. And I heard somewhere that if he had chosen to play under 18s footy at TAC Cup level or the Coates League, he would have been a top 20 prospect. Geez, my words are not coming out today. He would have been a top 20 prospect for the draft in his draft year. So that's where that must come from. So we'll see what he's able to produce today. Have we got the teams out yet? I'm sure people beneath you will be saying something.
Yeah.
Steve-O, if Allen plays well, do you reckon Will Hoskin-Elliott will get back to the ones? What do you think about that?
So what was that, Champs?
If Allen plays well, do you reckon Hoskin-Elliott can get back to the ones?
It's always really dependent, isn't it? Like
roles and
shit. There's too many variables there to really define that. Yeah. One thing was it who played 2 weeks ago again, Champ?
Dementia Carlton?
Was that 2 weeks ago?
Carlton West Coast?
I'm blank, but I thought Will Hoskin-Elliott was really fumbly in that game 2 games ago. Then obviously we played Eagles on the weekend, and he did bounce back and was able to take some good marks, wasn't it?
Would have been Carlton, West Coast, Adelaide, and now obviously Fremantle today.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what am I on about? Yeah, right. Yeah, it was West Coast, wasn't it? Yeah. What was the surgeon again, James?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We got full dementia today.
Early onset dementia. It's the KFC is the oils are reaching the crux of our brain. Howie does play. Let me see. Show.
Done. Yep. Will Parker, medical sub.
Okay.
Yeah. So
is that what we said?
Yeah, that's
we
what
said
we
that. Yeah. A bit more versatile. So Will Parker has been named the sub, which means Ed Allen gets the start in his first game, which is huge. That means Harvey Harrison will play on the wing, and we'll see Nick Daicos in the middle, or at least we should get a good serving of it. And hopefully we can see Bo McCreary and more of a sample size of Steele side bottom in halfback flank, which I've been loving.
Yeah, I've been absolutely loving him.
Yeah,
I love him there. And, we were pretty harsh on him a couple of weeks ago, saying maybe VFL or a sub role. But who would have thought backline was an opportunity for him to play? And I think he's really striving there. Like, yes, he's been a help side defensive winger.
Yeah.
But just that ability to come through and leave his man and really big spoils around.
Loves a spoil, Sidey.
He loves it as well.
If you know Sidey, he loves a spoil, and I think you're going to see it even more in a halfback flank role. He's always been a good defensive wingman, and I say that because when I go to watch the games live, his running patterns are just elite, and he's always there defensively. And now Harvey Harrison is taking over that role as a defensive wingman. I think he's doing really well as well. He's not very fumbly. A couple of clutch moments, particularly I think it was against Carlton, really clean in some defensive stoppages to get the ball out when we really needed it. Demon Badger says always playing on bigger blokes though. Yeah, no, I don't think so, because it was always Darcy Moore and Nathan Murphy playing on the talls, and then now Billy Frampton in lieu of Nathan Murphy. And I think in the end, you can tell Jeremy has only had one defensive one-on-one contest each game last year, which suggests that he's not engaging with those bigger blokes. But when he does, he loses them. And then we got Woody here who says Jeremy Howe was 127th last year for defensive one-on-one percentage and 122nd the year before. So just sort of further adds to the point that Jeremy has a great interceptor, but he's just not a one-on-one player. The game's not a one-on-one these days.
Yeah,
anyway.
Especially the way that we play. It's so much structure-based how we set up.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of one-on-one
that's
happened unless it's coming from a clearance, really.
Yeah. What does that say, Jen?
Has Charladine marks in the VFL been contested marks or uncontested marks to him?
I think when I was looking at the VFL stats, there's advanced stats, but I don't think there's contested or uncontested. It just says marks, unfortunately. So it would be nice for the VFL to take those stats, or maybe there might be somewhere where maybe Wooden Spoon Data can point me towards to find out a little bit more about that. But yeah, I'm not too sure, but he's been taking a lot. And I think he had quite a few intercept marks, according to the Collingwood match report a couple of weeks ago. So definitely his form warrants an opportunity tonight. Here we go, champ. Have a crack at that one.
What do you think of Bobby Hill's season so far? I think he's been good, champs. I think he's been good. I think
quieter the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but I think like a lot of people are trying to say he should get back to the form that we saw him in the grand final where he won the Norm Smith medal. But you kind of got to look at it as played out of his skin that game, right? Yeah. And to think that's going to be the new benchmark, I guess you can always endeavor to play like that every week, but really, he just had a real cracker game. And I see a lot of people comparing to him regarding that game. I think what he does and just creates so much excitement around the ball, and like it's just so much energy. He's a presence. Exactly, like you just see him bursting towards the contest once one of our tools bring it down. Yeah, in the forward line, you're like, fuck, he's gonna get on the end of this and get a snap. Right?
Yeah, and he'll always attract energy, which is important, even if you're not affecting the stat line. Stats don't lie, though, but Caleb makes a good point. He played out of his skin in the grand final, and the thing is with these type of impact players, and you can almost chuck him in the same category as Jordan De Goey. Obviously, De Goey has more of an impact, but they're both big-time players. You don't want your big-time players having big-time games, all their big-time games in the regular season. Yeah. You want them to really lift their game by 20 to 30% output in the finals series, and not now. It's not contradicting, but as what's the word? As conflicting as it may feel to hear that, that's the reality of it, isn't it?
You can always endeavor to bring what your new standards should be and should be lifted above. But I think that's just something we're going to remember when we're looking at it. But what are the stats saying, champ?
So last 5 matches, he's averaging a goal a game. He's having 3.4 shots on goal, so he's been rather inaccurate, averaging close to 2 behinds a game in his last 5 matches. So quite inaccurate, which wasn't, I guess, like him last year. It was quite accurate last year. What else have we got here? So goals are down. We probably want to see that close to 1.5, and 2 would be like elite, but 1.5 would be good. What's his pressure saying? 1.8 tackles, less than a tackle per game inside 50. Maybe look to lift that as well. That would be nice. Disposals, 10.4. So, look, what does that say? How does that stack up against, say, last year? Again, like I said, these stats are sort of rendered useless, in my opinion, when it comes to the grand scheme of things. If he plays well when it matters, then that's all that really matters for a player like Bobby Hill. When you've got players like Nick Daicos and Scott Pendlebury and Darcy Moore and Braden Maynard who are able for us on a weekly basis during the regular season, that's what carries you to the big games where these boys like a De Goey and Bobby Hill can really thrive. But let's have a look here. Bobby. So disposals. He's about the same for disposals from last season. The goals one will be interesting. I think he's down.
It's 1.4, I believe. Yeah.
1.5 goal average was much more accurate. So he's down to 30% accuracy this year. He was at 61 last year. Tackles down as well. So he's averaging less than a tackle a game. Sorry, let me go back here, champ. Tackles. I was averaging 2 tackles. I think they're the same, aren't they? Yeah, they're the same. They're about the same as tackling. So let's move on from that anyways. Did you have anything else to add to there?
No, I think what I do like seeing from Bobby Hill is his new presence of being able to really demand the footy. I saw that over the last 2 games. He's really pointing. I don't really see that much anymore. I remember back in the day, you see bloody Lloydie coming out, pointing, G-Train for Security coming up, really demanding the ball, and such a small player, but he still does that, and I just love seeing it. He's linking up with some players as well, and it just looks shit hot when it works.
Yeah. He's definitely an attractive player to look at when he plays. Not looks, just a attractive gameplay, man.
Keep it moving, man.
Pause.
Keep it moving.
Pause. Okay. All right, Manny, what have you got for us, brother? Let's see. Hold on. Oh, frozen. Give us a second, man.
No, we saw on, or we just crashed on.
It's just we'll back it in. Let me just share this.
Might need a new laptop.
All right, there. Go talk to your man.
All right, the coach has shown us he is ruthless. You get a few chances to perform, or then you get put in the VFL cemetery, just like Finn and Ash Johnson. Look, I think sometimes as a coach, when stuff isn't working, especially at the start of the year,
Yeah, big time.
You got to move the magnets around, and like Ash Johnson really was not performing, was he?
No pressure.
He's just like not bashing the bloke because he did get me a drink once when we went out. Yeah, yeah. It was on Chapel Street. Oh no, it was Swan.
You got you a drink.
Got me a drink. His mate got me.
Did
a
you get
drink.
your number?
His mate. No. They were going to
Oh.
But anyway, he's once the ball hits ground, defensive act is horrendous.
Yeah.
So and it was really noticeable, especially when you're down at the first part of the year. It's pretty bad. So that was warranted. Finn, rough.
Yeah, we'll save that for the podcast, Finland.
Very rough. Yeah.
We can really unpack that there because that's that. What position does Will Parker play for those who haven't watched him play? He plays off the halfback flank. He's decent with the ball, averaging around 15 disposals a game in the VFL and has some good defensive craft. So that's all I've got for you for now. I think you were trying to suss some highlights, but
nothing.
Tough world out there.
Yeah, VFL need to do a better job. But you'd think Collingwood, if a new player comes in, they'll have a highlight package for him.
Mainstream media is a little bit cooked, like in the AFL. I think that's why we get us involved, and maybe we can give you a little bit more, but we can only give you as much as the VFL. Like, we'd have to watch all the VFL games to gather a really fair observation, but we can't do that. We haven't got enough time. Can Kruger get a game? Not the way he's playing right now, and he's just coming back from injury. So give him a few more weeks, and he would probably be next in line for a tall forward opportunity if the opportunity does present.
How do you think Nick plays tonight?
Go on, give us your prediction, man. I'm just saying. I said for Adelaide, if you guys saw the Pies Eyes podcast, I said he gets 6 of his. Sorry, he had 4 games against Adelaide before last week. He got 6 Brownlow votes out of the possible 12. I said he's going to have a massive game. I told you. I said put the house on it.
You did say that.
And you didn't touch it.
Well, I was saying 40-1. And just the odds there was no good.
And we didn't get to watch it. We got belted. We were playing footy ourselves at 2:00 and we got belted by 95 points.
We did. And
we didn't get to watch our beloved Collingwood live. So, look, yeah, what's the prediction, man? Go on.
Well, I think he'll have a good game. Obviously, people saying, even though he walked away with 10 coaches' votes from last week, but
people get stiff on him, huh?
Yeah, because his disposal efficiency was down. I think it was the lowest of his career. I believe. But when you become an inside player, which is kind of the role he's playing, he's more last year, and when he was off the halfback, obviously more of an outside player, being able to get the ball, receive it, then look up. Even though Nick Daicos probably takes him 0.8 of a second to kick the footy, it's still those inside possessions where he's just jamming it on his foot, and that's a little bit effective. Yes, he did miss a couple of switch kicks,
shots on goal,
and even going into the forward line. Like, you got to think about it, he's kind of kicking to our VFL side, right?
Yeah.
Like, so they're not going to be able to take as many clangers, even though they have been performing good. The boys that have been coming up, but another big game for him, and I think that's going to be imperative to our win today. Is Nick Daicos firing? Pendles comes out again. Best mate. Last week's game, unreal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to add to that, champs,
Nick
Daicos has not lost against Fremantle yet in his career. He's 3-0. He's averaging 28 disposals a game. And he hasn't lost in Perth either. 2-0 in Perth, averaging 26 disposals. He's kicked 3 goals in those games against Perth, which I think were all against West Coast, to be fair. So we take that with a grain of salt, considering how deplorable they have been over the last couple of years. Not so much this year, obviously, so different story then.
Yeah, and the one thing that don't want to harp on too much about is our past performance against Freo, just because of such a new young team that we have in. It's almost like it could go a real different, couldn't it, today?
Yeah. Mitch, you wanted the spotlight. We're giving it to you. Pies are washed.
And it's got my boy right there, my Kilty, huh?
McKelty. Yeah.
Fuck.
Killed me in a game under 19, McKelty.
It's a good boy.
Yeah. Up the Daicos, he says, Mitch, that's a bit much. Wearing a Richmond jersey. Turn it up, Mitch. Come on, mate.
Yep.
Get on with it. All right, Dom, I see soccer talk here. I saw MLS Soccer introduce umpire cams and release the footage. Maybe made you realize how hard umpiring is. What do you think of AFL doing couple umpire cams?
Yeah. It's like, it's cool. Look, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing it because if you get really up close, you probably see the mid-craft or, how players are moving, talking to each other.
Yeah.
Do I necessarily care as much to make how hard the game is? Well, there's 4 of you out there. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. You got it. But I don't know. That's my opinion, Chance. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm going to call a spade a spade. The umpire world, the umpire industry attracts a certain demographic for people who have a small maybe down there. and that's where they get their authority. They get their ego stroke and they become an umpire and they have their power trips on the field. At AFL level, at VFL level, at local footy level, at junior level, they fucking wave their little and that's how they get off. That's how they get off. So
if there's any umpires that are watching that might umpire both of us, remember he said that.
I said it. Spaniard, champion data do the VFL, not Premier data. Contested mark stats and intercepts taken the apps doesn't show them for some reason. It's horrific, isn't it? Champion data keeping the stats away from fucking little scroungels like you and I who love the stats. But maybe one day, maybe Wooden Spoon Data will one day release his own thing where we get full disclosure about every little stat. We've seen that. Rangatake, my man, we better rip him off this tonight. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate your support. I see your comments all the time on the video, so really appreciate that. And go Pies. Nathan, stats do lie, but they don't tell the truth either. Stats, do you mean stats don't lie? Yeah, sorry, let me put this one up. Stats don't lie, but don't tell the truth either. Exactly. Take it with a grain of salt. You sort of intertwine that with the naked eye.
The eye test.
And then you go from there.
Yeah.
The eye test.
Some was like, I guess I know some comments I've been already reading, but they're like Quayne all season so far. And would have to agree without giving too much away about Sunday's podcast. But I think he's playing a role that doesn't necessarily sees him getting the ball as much, but he's still doing his job as locking the player down when he has to. So that's the thing. You look at stats, he's down on stats from compared to last year, but I think he's still having a good impact. Yeah.
And like with the thing with stats, right? Like he might look like a 6, but his personality might bring him up to an 8. So that's it. Just kidding. Maybe not. AJ's resilience is the issue. He goes to sulk too easily. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah. I think if you drop your head, if someone's a kick through the ball, is probably a big indicator there.
Maybe give him one more shot this year. I don't know when, but that's probably going to be his only chance before he potentially gets delisted. Does another club pick him up? I don't know. At his age, maybe not. He's not setting the VFL afire right now. That kick to Geordie to kick the winning goal from Nick Daicos was pristine. Exactly. He was accurate when it mattered. I mean, all this vitriol about Nick Daicos' poor disposal and efficiencies are unwarranted, given he's still adapting to the role and he's still having an impact. So get over it. Champion Data. I think it was Hoyne, the guy who runs Champion Data. He was getting into. I think he said Nick Daicos, while he got the 10 coaches' votes, he was the 21st highest rated player on the field. Like, come on. Yeah. That's when you just got to spit in the face of statistics sometimes, as much as I love it. Kev, mate, welcome. I think we'll win by 18 points. I'm streaming the game, but I want us to play faster footy. Don't let Fremantle play defensively. So, Champ, you know a little bit about the way Fremantle are going about it, so fill us in.
Yeah, so obviously they'll really like to get the ball on the outside and play that free-flowing games. And you actually look at the statistics at the moment, Fremantle for pressure acts, they're last I believe it, for tackles, they're in the bottom 5.
Yep.
Whereas you flip that to Collingwood, we're in the top 5 for both of those. And I think the pressure acts, we might be number 1. So obviously 2 different styles of playing footy. And the best way to do that, and if a side likes to get on the outside of you, is trying to work them into the contest and pushing them under. Which is, we did say that about Carlton as well, who is a good clearance team. And that's what you got to do against a good clearance team, because obviously they get the one ball, person going for the ball, and they like to flick it out. So the best way to combat that is by pushing them under around the contest and try to limit their run and carry.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing with that is, even though they're the second highest rated team for clearances, they don't score very well. They're middle of the pack for scores from stoppages, whereas Collingwood, we're not the highest clearance team in the league, but we are extremely damaging from the clearance. And like I said, with Fremantle, they don't score very well after the stoppage. So it's not just what you do at the stoppage, it's the next play after that and the play after that that will really tell you how well a team does some clearance. If they're not scoring from it, then what does it really count for? Because it's probably, if they're not scoring from it, Fremantle, they're probably conceding plays going back the other way once it's rebounded or intercepted, right?
Yeah, exactly right.
I think you wanted your point here. Fremantle, the number 3 side for uncontested possessions in the league right now. If we go differential, what do you say they're the last in, champ?
I've got it in my notes here on my phone. I think it was either tackles or it was pressure acts.
Let's see. Differential.
Let me pull it up, Jamie.
So we'll have a look at this just to see what their absolute stats are and then relative in differential.
Yeah, so pressure acts, worse rated in the AFL. Compared to Collingwood, we're ranked 3 for pressure acts.
Yeah.
And Collingwood is ranked 4th in tackles compared to Fremantle, who are bottom 5 in the AFL.
Okay, there you go. So, all right. So with the pressure acts, they're last in pressure acts and they're last in pressure acts differential as well, minus 27 per game, whereas Collingwood are plus 11 per game, which is top 5. And then tackles differential, surprisingly, while Fremantle don't tackle a high volume, their differential, relatively speaking, in games is plus 4, which is top 6. Collingwood, however, are plus 10 in a differential. So what that means is, while Fremantle probably aren't, they're not accumulating a high amount of tackles, it means the other team, because of the way Fremantle play, are probably not allowing the opposition to tackle the ball as much as well. So it's the differential that tells us a little bit more there. So, but in saying that, Collingwood number 1 for tackle differential as well. So it's a tale of 2 different sort of game plans, and see where we go from there.
Yeah, exactly right.
What else we got? So we sort of touched on
Where is the Pies' weakness?
Michael, thanks for tuning in, my brother.
What's up, brothers?
Brother.
What is the Pies' biggest weakness against the Daicos tonight? That, and also the inexperience in the team. Because you got a lot of people under 5 games, like we've discussed.
Yeah.
Very intrigued how Will Parker goes when he does get a run later today.
Yeah.
A lot of variables. So
yeah,
that's probably, if not the biggest, what's going to contribute most to how our performance is today, is how, the new guys coming in going to perform.
Yeah, that's the biggest question. Biggest question mark. Umpires have LDS. Yes, that's right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Okay. Archie.
Didn't know I could have been an umpire then, champ.
There you go.
Jeez.
Under a minute live, brother.
Let's go, champ.
Pies by 14. Yeah, let's go, Arch. Let's go. Our smalls will get off the leash. We've got so many of them. We haven't even mentioned Joe Richards, and he's been... Yeah. Actually, I've got something for you, albeit a small sample size. We love our stats here. Let's go. If we go forwards and we go medium forward, I think Joe Richards is one of the higher rated forwards in the league right now. If we go player ratings, Joe Richards is top 15. He's only played 2 games, but in the last 5 matches, he is in the top 15 highest rated medium-sized forwards in the league at age 25, playing just his 3rd game of AFL footy tonight.
Yeah.
What have you liked about Mr. Joe Richards in the games that you've seen?
Champ, I rate him very highly. just composure with the ball, works for it. The way that he can work up as that high half forward into the contest, and then lose his man on the way back, really opens the ground. I think he looks inboards really well as well. And obviously showing great ability just to lower the eyes and hit targets, very clean. Obviously 2 games. So, we'll see as he progresses, but I think he can be really big in and a really good part of our season moving forward.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Agreed. So we usually call each other champ, right? And usually to the average Joe Blow, usually champ is an insult, but for us, that's just our thing. But I poured him a glass of water before, and he goes, "Thanks, mate." And I looked at him. I'm like, "What the fuck did you say?" I was like, "What have I done to you, mate?" Champ.
Yeah, I don't know, mate.
What was that about?
I don't know.
What was it? Did you say that intentionally, or that just roll off the tongue unintentionally?
I don't know why I said mate. I don't know. I think I was looking at my phone and someone said mate, but yeah,
not happy.
We move.
Not happy. All right, we're gonna need a fact checked on this one. Mr. Rick thinks Ed Allen is 6'5" with good skills and pace. I've heard that. I've heard he's played wing. He had the quickest time in the combine over 20 meters, which is something I didn't know. And we'll also see Tujath some stage this year as well. Fuck, this KFC is coming
TJ,
up.
I would love to see him out there.
He had 20 disposals on the weekend.
Yeah, had a good game. But to the point, champs, I actually don't know too much information. I'll pull it up.
He's 6'5" because I thought he was like 6'3". Just
194 centimeters. So I'm 186. That's
on a good day. On a good day. No, is that with the boots on?
No, it's no boots. Yeah. I'm not mate Hayden, huh? 5'10" king.
What does that convert? I'm an inches man. I'm not a centimeters guy. I need the metric. I need the right metric. 194, guys. 194 centimeters. Tell us. Do the math, man. While he's pulling that up, guys, if you haven't subscribed.
6'4".
Okay, so he's not 6'6". Did he say 6'5"?
He said 6'5".
He's close.
You round up.
He's close.
You wear boots.
Yeah.
We'll give you that one.
All right, Rick, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me. Paul Pateras says, "Read the Bible before the game." Why? What's that in reference to, Paul? What have I done, Pablos?
The devil's trying to get out of here.
Michael, 6'4.5". Thank you.
Yeah.
Guys, just quickly, if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so. We do these pregame shows on most weeks where we can, depending on our schedules. And I'm releasing a Scott Pendlebury documentary in less than 2 weeks on a certain Sunday. So be ready for that. So we want to contest the game in a free. We want to hit up targets and have a lot of uncontested marks. Yes and no. I think we want to win the contested game, but we just want to keep the game in motion and limit Fremantle getting uncontested marks because it means they'll be able to slow down the game and nullify our pressure application in the front half, right?
Yeah, it's more like when you're trying to push another team under, doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a contested game. You're just trying to push them under and then be able to flick the ball out, right? Yeah. So if you're able to limit the Fremantle guys getting on the fly, that's how we win. And we try to do what they do to us is get on the fly and have more an uncontested game.
Yeah.
The man.
Is that Rocket?
That is the best small forward I've ever played with in the VAFA right there.
Rodney Gonzalez.
Love the goal.
Leon, is he a Pies fan?
He's a huge Pies fan.
Let's go, Rocket.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
He's about 5 foot though, but I do love him.
I see you're listed in the thirds tomorrow, Rocket. We're gonna see you kick a couple, take the jersey off again. If I can give one of these ones or what?
Mate, best celebrations up there with Clokey.
Yeah. Woody, you doing the watch along tonight? No, I didn't. Look, I personally didn't. I don't love the watch along because I sort of want to chill in within the own comforts in my own space.
Yeah.
Maybe for the big games, we'll do a watch along, but I think the pre-game show and the post-game show eventually it will be the way to go.
Yeah, I agree. I think I actually mind the watch along, and you're able to see what we're talking and what we're seeing in the game to give you guys an analysis on what we think we're doing well and what we need to improve on. It also allows you guys to have an outlet as well, which is a little bit of point of difference of what everyone else does, to be able to come on and express and get our opinions on things as well. Yeah. I think that works well. And I think especially on high, rated games or rivalry games. That's something we look to do. Maybe something in the finals.
Yeah,
Definitely not the grand final if we're in it.
no,
Definitely
We
not. Won't be finding us on YouTube. That's all I got to say.
And I think the YouTube will cancel us if they hear the things we say.
Yeah.
We're not grommets, but sometimes we say things with a bit of tongue in cheek, and that might get you in trouble in this sensitive community that is the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Rocket, 5 goals.
Heard it here first.
All right, there you go. Screenshots, guys. Get your screenshots going.
Close
DMR,
game?
please no. Yes, please no close game. Thank you. I agree, mate. It would be very nice.
I don't see it happening. I reckon it's going to be a close game. I reckon it's going to be a close one.
There's comfort in those close losses, DMR.
There's character building.
Yep.
That's what I always say.
Michael, big up, lads. Keep up the great content. Is that Come On You Spurs? That's not Come On You Spurs, is it?
I hope not.
That's not Come On You Spurs. Michael, what's that? Is that you a Tottenham bloke? Michael. Come On You Spurs. Interesting. Does he know I'm a Man City fan? Whatever. Michael, thanks for tuning in.
Is this when you start mentioning your ex-Melbourne City?
Yeah, he did.
Goalkeeper?
He is a Spurs fan. There you go. All right, fair enough. Look, Ange Postecoglou is the coach of Tottenham, so and as long as Heung-min Son is a part of that team, I'll always have a soft spot for Tottenham. So against Freo, I doubt it. I doubt it's not close. I think it could be close, Spaniard. But
look, if we had our full strength side, I'd be more confident. It's always interesting when you have a lot of changes to a squad week on week.
Spaniard, you said you do the stat collection in the VFL for a certain team. I think you said you watched Southport versus the Northern Bull Ants on the weekend. Do you collect the stats for the VFL in general, or do you collect for a team, or what exactly do you do, Spaniard? I'm intrigued. I'd like to know what you do at VFL level. In the meanwhile, what have we got here? Fremantle, we've already mentioned the number one side for marks inside 50, the number one uncontested side in the league in the last 5 games, or at least for the league, I think. Number 2 clearance side, we mentioned that as well. Their expected score against St Kilda last week, they only scored 72 points to 55, extremely inaccurate, 31 scoring shots to 15. They should have won. Expected score 104 to 54 points against St Kilda.
Yeah.
What does that say?
And then they get some goal kick in practice during the week.
Yeah.
But it's a game of footy. You take the opportunities that you're given, and sometimes,
Bro, they should have won some games early in the year that they absolutely coughed up.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I think Carlton, they absolutely choked. I collect the stats for champion data, which directly goes to coaches and broadcasters. Can you flick us the internet marks for Charlie Dean? That'd be nice to know.
Yeah, excellent to know.
That's awesome. How'd you have you been in the stats game for a long time, Spaniard, or what did you do to get to that point? Filter here.
Well, you're pulling that up. I'd like to know what the viewers think. Best Aboriginal Indigenous jersey this year.
What's the one off the top of your head that you like?
I love that St Kilda jersey. I love it.
Is it the Cheltenham looking one?
Yeah, it is.
Brown,
the Cheltenham
red,
look.
yellow. Yeah, it's a different look.
Yeah, it's because back in the day they used to wear those colours, and then obviously World War I happened, and they looking a bit like a German flag, so they had to move. But that's a little heritage piece, and I think that just looks cracker.
There you go.
Absolutely cracker. So that's my hot take. I thought the Pies jersey last year was pretty nice as well. For a Collingwood jersey, can't really do too much with black and white,
All right. Yeah, I'm not too sure what my favourite cut. That West Coast jersey was. It was actually. Yeah,
West Coast.
Look,
I don't mind the Dockers one.
Look good on Harley Reid, man. Look good on Harley Reid.
I'm gonna have to out here. This guy thinks Harley Reid. You got something.
Go.
I don't know. He thinks he's a very good-looking bloke. I don't agree with that. I just don't see, bro. You love your blondes. That's what I want to say, huh?
Hey, man, Harley Reid. You're saying he's ugly.
I'm saying he's clapped.
He's clapped.
I'm saying
he's ugly.
He's clapped.
Paul, homosexual, homosexual.
Yeah.
Homosexual. Always homosexual, Paul. Always homosexual, brother.
Yeah.
Always tongue in cheek. Yeah, so Fremantle should have beat Port Adelaide from memory, and they should have beat Carlton. And I'd like to know what Fremantle's expected score is for the season so far. Let's see here. Expected score differential, maybe. If we go that will tell us a bit more. Expected score differential. They're 5th in the league, so they should have won. On an average this season, their games by 15 or 14 points, which is 5th in the league. And then Collingwood are just below. Expected score differential +9 per game. So, yeah, look, they're playing better than maybe what their position on the ladder suggests. Where are they on the ladder?
Oh, that's a good question.
Good thing we got this monitor, huh?
Yeah.
They're 9th place, and they could very well be 8-2 if they had beaten Fremantle. I mean, Port Adelaide and Carlton, where they lost the game very late in both games.
Yeah.
Should Pies throw money at Reid if he wants to come back to Melbs? I don't think that's going to happen, Rodney. He's going to cost. Like, if you've already got Nick Daicos on the roster, I think they were talking about Harley Reid taking on like one of the biggest contracts to date. Soon.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Reid.
Obviously, you'd love to have him, but it's not happening.
Yeah.
We've got nothing left. Got no draft picks.
Got nothing. We've got nothing.
Got no capex. Got no key forwards.
We're kind of hoping some of our vets can take a lesser contract so we can hit free agency in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
I'd love to have the stats, but I think you need a pretty penny to get him. Yes. He'd look beautiful in the black and white. See? Come on, man. Champ, you're telling me if you didn't wear black and white, your narrative on that will change. I'm just saying.
Maybe it's the colour clash with the yellow on the West Coast.
It's the PTSD from 2018. Rodney Gonzalez, we got nothing, brother. We've got nothing. Next week is tough against the Doggies. Yeah, they've looked good the last 4 weeks, I tell you what, and they could have won yesterday had they kicked straight. So they're going to be another challenge. And sometimes, for some reason, Western Bulldogs just get a really good hold of us. So we'll see where that goes. 8-10 game, fucking late tonight, isn't it?
It is very late.
Yeah, it's past. Is it past anyone's bedtime? Is 8-10 pushing it? Who's not going to make it past the third quarter tonight? I'd like to know.
Yeah, that is the reason why we're not doing a post show today, just because how late it will finish.
Yeah. Luke Davies-Uniacke, restricted free agent. Yeah, maybe. He's not playing very well at the moment. I think he had a good game last week, which I might pop up just for reference. But I think Bailey Smith will cover that. And I think maybe we'll get Bailey Smith for unders, given his ACL and all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he'll fill that role nicely. That's what we look for in a midfielder. Yeah. This is going to be a sus conversation, but he's a good-looking bloke.
Who, Bailey?
Yeah.
He's blonde.
But Harley Reid's face is fucking clapped, bro.
Yeah,
he's clapped, man.
I know, man.
Oh,
hey, we're gonna lose viewers. If
I know. It's a bit crazy going on.
So Luke Davies-Uniacke he was the highest rated player for the game between Essendon and North Melbourne. He had 27 disposals, operating at 85% disposal efficiency, which is really good considering he's not very clean with the ball, generally speaking. 1 goal assist, 8 score involvements, 28 pressure acts, which led the game. Was a game high. Had 90% in the centre bounce, 10 contested possessions, and 152 Supercoach points, and is expected to get maybe a vote or two in the Brownlow for his performance. So, I think that the thing is with Luke Davies-Uniacke, yes, he's a good player, but I think Collingwood have to pay overs to get him to Collingwood, whereas with Bailey Smith coming off the ACL, I think we're going to be able to get him for a better price. And he still has potential. He played in a lesser role at the Bulldogs. He played more wing as his time went on. So it'd be nice to see what happens if we give him the keys to the engine room at Collingwood under the bright lights.
Yeah, there's so many benefits obviously come from the ACL. Is obviously a big factor, but it's got the best in the biz in there with Pendles. You know, we always harp on about Pendles and his experience, and we're moving on from that chance.
So.
But he'll be under good mentors at Collingwood, and I reckon that can really take him to the next level if he comes down.
Would love to verse the Doggies in Queensland next week, not Marble. Okay, which we could probably talk about in the podcast a bit more, but Collingwood are trying to lobby for one of their Marvel games next season to be in Gold Coast in the school holiday season. so that we could play one less game at Marvel. Essentially,
It's fucking genius.
it was a genius
They're
call.
genius. I was actually just looking at my phone because I was like, I make it that we're playing Doggies at Marvel, and that's a different kettle of fish there, man.
Marvel sucks, man.
It's shit.
Shit. You used to pour beers there?
I have poured beers there, but it was more of a MCG
Okay.
down at Robbie Flower Bar,
Has
level 4.
anyone been poured beers by this guy, this fraud?
I had a ponytail back then. I had the man bun.
They wouldn't know.
Yeah. Pies need a key forward. Yes, we do, Rocket. Any come to mind that could come over to the Pies in the near future? Well, if he had watched some of our previous YouTube videos, he would know that one, Champs. But I'll leave that to you to answer.
In my dream world, Oscar Allen, because he's a free agent soon. If he obviously doesn't sign on with West Coast, but realistically, you're probably looking at players like Harrison Petty from the Melbourne Demons, and then we've got Sam Taylor, who's not a forward, but he's a key position player who hasn't signed on yet. And then you've even got Mac Andrew, who's at Gold Coast, who is not a forward either, but a key tall position player who could swing forward if needed, and might give a little bit of give us the luxury to maybe swing Darcy Moore forward in the future. Who knows? Who knows? He's still got a couple years up, or a few years up his sleeve at least. So maybe Darcy Moore goes forward at some point and becomes that 6'6" giant who's can lead up to the ball, take big marks. And then maybe a Sam Taylor is holding down the fortress for us in the back line. Who knows? There's so many ways to look at it right now. So Caleb knows how to pour a beer, that's for sure. Best in the business. Have you poured him a beer?
Yep. Down at the Dome.
The Crusher Dome?
Yep.
There you go.
Who on a key back allows more to play the third man up. Yep. Yeah. Be interesting maybe if TJ puts some size on him. He's 19? So yeah. Maybe he can always come in. Charlie Dean, see how he performs.
So he plays tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone mentioned Roy Lobb here. I don't want that big spastic. Do you want Roy Lobb?
We remember, not to get hung up on multis, but he franked me one year, and I don't like him. I don't like him
for many reasons.
Many reasons.
I think the only way we get Bailey Smith is if we take either Lobb or okay, I see what you're saying. So you think we have to do Bulldogs a favor by taking one of those? We're not going to do that because we've had issues with our salary management with Grundy and Law in the past. So I don't think we're going to want to take on any dead weight if we were to acquire Bailey Smith. I think someone here said, I think we get Lynch out of the Tigers for peanuts for 2 years. I wouldn't be opposed to that, considering we are in our premiership window. If we can get him next year, cool. Is that when he's out of contract or is it the year after? If it's the year after, I'm not too sure. I'd want to take Tom Lynch on. He's been a liability, injury-prone wise, so fuck, man, this KFC's killing me.
I don't know what's going on, bro.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I had 2 zingers, half a popcorn chicken, like a medium-sized popcorn chicken, 2 original recipes, a large chips,
3 nuggets.
3 nuggets.
I ate the same, bro.
Sweet and sour sauce.
You know what? You had tomato sauce. I didn't have tomato sauce.
Come on, mate. Come on.
I know.
Lobb is just another Jesse White. Hey, Jesse White did some good things for Collingwood. Hey, pull it up, man. What was his goal to game ratio? He was all right. Come on, Nathan. Yeah, he had some bad games.
Yeah.
He had some bad games, but I feel like he had some good games as well. Good old Jesse White. I miss Alex Fasolo, the Prince of Perth. I miss him. You don't like him because he's blonde. That's a different blonde. He's peroxide.
Yeah.
I like blonde. Maybe I don't like peroxide. How about that? Whispers that Hawthorn are sick of Mitch Lewis not getting on the park and could be gettable for the right price. Steve, tell me, when is he out of contract? Because I'd be willing to take that burden off Hawthorn. You don't know much about Mitch Lewis, do you?
No.
He's got some serious potential.
So we've got Jesse White, 56 games for Collingwood, 75 goals.
Not bad. Look, it's just a number. It's just a number, but I think he did some good things for Collingwood at times. So I wouldn't mind taking Mitchell Lewis's Burden off Hawthorn and bring him over to Collingwood and see if we can get his body right, because I've seen some of his games at his peak. Is really good. And Demon Badger asks, is McLuggage actually gettable? I think he's gettable. Whether he signs on at Brisbane, I'm not too sure. I don't know if I'd go for a player like McLuggage, who's more of an outside player. And Spaniard says Mitch Lewis is signed until 2026. So you're suggesting we have to give up trades or swap a player, which is maybe unlikely. Here we go, champ.
Here we go. That's our man right there.
Stefan.
Yeah. Well, Bo, definitely go in the middle today. I reckon what we saw in that Carlton game before he got that beautiful knockout flying knee against him, he was doing good. A lot of pressure acts in there. He's obviously a pressure forward, and he's been able to translate that, even though it's a small sample size. But when he was in there for that half, he was looking shit hot. So he'll get a run in there today. Would like to see what that does to the percentage for the overall midfields in there.
Yeah.
To see how that works, because obviously the last few weeks I think we've been getting better at the clearances, and we've always been pretty good, but especially the last 3 games with Daicos having to play that inside role, Pendles again, Jack playing well, it's been really good. So would like to see a little Lockie Sullivan as well. I see what happens with Bo adding into, like, what does he add into the mix? Does he upset the apple cart, or does he bring it to the next level?
I actually wanted to bring that up. It's a good point there to segue into. So it's Crisp, Pendlebury, Nick Daicos, all 80% plus centre-backs attendances.
Yeah.
The next nearest player, Lockie Sullivan, at like 26%.
Yeah.
So if Bo is to play in the midfield, someone's going to take the cut.
Exactly.
And does that, what do you say? Upsets the apple cart.
Yeah.
Who's it going to be? I don't know. Will it be? I'm not too sure. We'll see. Tonight will tell us a bit more. I wouldn't mind Tom Lynch, even though people call him flog. He's a bit of a flog. I don't know. So, Steve, you say unrestricted free agent in 2026. So is that at the end of next year? Is that what you mean? Can you please let me know? Stefan, what have you got for me? My dad thinks my check is shit. Tell him he's delusional. Don't worry, Stefan. We've got a very close mate who is currently in Europe right now, and he's always getting into Brody Myercheck, and I think it's unwarranted. We're with you, mate. And tell your old man, your patera, because I assume you agree. Tell your patera is good.
He's good.
He's always good for 2 goals as well. Mr. Brody Myercheck.
Doesn't fail me often. And if he does fail you in a 2+ multi, is a little tip. The next week he will score 2. So
this sounds like a kid. Are you advising him underage gambling?
I'm not gambling. But I say gamble responsibly. But why the fuck would anyone think Myercheck is shit? I don't know. There's a lot of people. Madison.
Yeah. If you're watching Madison,
the
footy lab.
He's undersized for his role, and he competes so hard at the ball and does well for us. Yeah. And if we can get a key forward in the off season, I reckon his numbers are even going to shoot up even more. Taking a second defender instead of the first defender each week.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm right. So end of 2025, Tom Lynch would be made available as an unrestricted free agent. Yeah, food for thought. How old he'd be in his 30s, like early 30s now. I'm not too sure. Maybe that ship has sailed. I think it's dead weight in the end. I think we're trying to move away from being the oldest club in the land right now. So did DeGoey and McGray play mid at all last week? Bo takes up their attendances. DeGoey did not play midfield at all last week. 0% centre bounce attendances, Spaniard. And Finn McRae, 0 centre bounce attendances. Filled a role as a half forward flanker, and now he's been dropped.
I can't get over that.
But anyways, guys, 2-minute warning. We're going to jump off in about 2 minutes and get ready to watch the game so we can gather our thoughts and share them over the next week or so. But any last comments? Put them in and we can address them and then we'll go watch the game. Yeah,
I think
Voss. Steve, tell me what is Voss's name, and I will look into him, and I'll look to maybe touch on that in a mid-season draft video soon. Voss, 197 tall. Kid.
Yeah. Well, I think while you're doing that, champs, and we got the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
For guys who might have just been tuning in late, what are our key ways to winning today? What's our key success? What is our road to success today?
You're asking me.
I'm asking you. I gave it earlier in the game, so you can ruin it. Yep, that just threw me off, but yeah.
Yeah, keys to success is to limit Fremantle's outside game, score from stoppages. If Fremantle want to be the more dominant team by clearances, that's fine. As long as we can outscore them in that realm, that's probably all that matters. Play fast and just stop, nullify Fremantle from slowing down the game. When they play the game on their terms, it usually goes well for them. And marks inside 50, we're going to need big games from players like Charlie Dean and fuck.
That just killed me in the fucking comments.
Killed me too. I've got KFC coming up my throat, and then Demon Badgers hit me with wife's a brunette, so blonde. Woody, we're off, mate. Yeah, we're going to be off in like less than a minute.
And then for Collingwood, obviously being able to limit the outside game of Fremantle, but also for what we can do as Collingwood. Well, as the players, obviously continue to look to switch. I think every time we've done that, and we've been doing that since, whenever we started winning, is being able to open up the ground, especially last week against Adelaide. We dared to do it. And if that means Daicos numbers, Nick Daicos, slightly less because he's taking a risky kick, I'm fine with that. And then obviously looking for the fat side entry as well into the forward 50 and continuing to do that at a rate just to open up the forward line, especially with the smaller forwards we have.
Yeah.
It's going to be key for us winning today.
That's it. Look, guys, Stefan, go to bed, mate. I know what you're trying to get out of us there. That's a funny one, but I'm not going to read that. I'll put it on the screen for people to try to read out that name, and they'll realize what you're up to, mate. But I'm a little bit ahead of you, brother. Rick, we should go after Joe Pike. Yes, I agree. He played well in the VFL as well as for the Geelong Falcons, so he'll be good. Rangers, a sneaky dub. Spaniard. Yeah. If we win with so many injuries, it will put the fear of God into the competition. Absolute burnout. Great to see you, mate, in the chat. Guys, we're going to go watch the Pies, hopefully beat the Dockers, and we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.
Bye.